given to you by the other.
So basically, what our report tells you is the biggest you can do. Most events, longest nights,
Right.
times, etc. You can always make it smaller.
Yeah, I understand.
And as you were suggesting, just as a matter of course, it might start out smaller or it might ebb and flow, but it ought not to go bigger than this. And if there was actual evidence that it was going bigger than this, then you all ought to be thinking about whether you need to do more analysis to figure out if there are different impacts than the ones that were analyzed here.
And that's an important distinction, and the board in the future, I spent 10 years teaching at Ignacio Valley High School, so I remember well all of these things. We didn't have lights and, nighttime activities the 10 years I spent there, but at any time, just to clarify, because the board is responsible for this decision and its impact as well. You have the environmental impact, we have the impact on the community, and at any time we can opt to modify, and shouldn't look at you for this, I should look at our general counsel for this. We could opt to modify. We're approving the environmental impact report and the significant impact that this might have, but then it drills down into the number of events and the smaller details, and at any time the board can choose to modify that, revisit that, obviously, because when we make a decision we can always revisit. I just want to clarify that up front.
That's correct. The project is going to come to you for approval. That will be the next step, or it might not come to you. I don't know if the funding's placed. So all of those issues regarding the project itself will be before you if you approve the final environmental impact report. And at that time, you will make decisions based upon your discretion relative to how that should look. And at some point in the future, if circumstances change, the board at that time can, make a decision to uninstall the lights. I mean, so that is within your discretion. But again, right now, the focus is on the environmental impacts of the project as it is
Accepting
presented.
those findings and
Right.
approving of those,
Right.
which is our resolution, I believe it goes.
And that will be, yeah.
Okay.
What
Mr. Lawrence?
What I'd request of Mr. Cody would be data around the limitations for other high schools and then the actual number of events for the past year or two.
Absolutely, we can provide that.
And it's partly a question and partly a comment, and also direct. It certainly sounds as though we've fulfilled the legal obligation, but I think we as a board and as a district give consideration to what's our standard for being a good neighbor in terms of consultation, and just where does that responsibility lie? Is it at the district level? Is it at the site level? And I just, from what we've heard, I have concerns about that.
So I have a question. I just want to confirm that I'm looking at the right estimate of usage, and that's on the page opposite page 140. Is that correct? So I do my homework correctly?
I think you're looking back at the reduced use alternative, if you're looking back on 141. So that's an alternative to the proposed project that the whole report deals with. And if you go along with our reasoning, you will be rejecting that alternative.
So okay, so which page on the report are you referencing for the full use then?
27,
27.
up
Okay.
in the project description.